Good morning. Welcome to NYNJPA Weather, your weather source for the Northern Mid-Atlantic. I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. And it looks like we are dealing with a dangerous situation coming up for the Northern Mid-Atlantic for tonight on through Wednesday. Let's get to the latest data. Here we have our current surface map as of 9 a.m. And as you can see, high pressure is dominating much of the Northern Mid-Atlantic all the way through the Great Lakes and the Northern Plains. This high pressure system, though, means trouble because this high pressure system is going to keep cold air in place over much of the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area for the upcoming winter storm. Meanwhile, our low pressure system is starting to organize over the southern plains and will be approaching the Ohio Valley over the next 48 hours. Let's take a look at the latest water vapor satellite picture to explain this storm. This is our latest water vapor satellite picture as of 9 a.m. and I want to point out a few important features here. This green line is our subtropical jet stream and our yellow line is the polar jet stream. And of course we have our L's here standing for the low pressure track and the H's stand for the highs. Now this is very important to point out here. Notice how the jet streams converge over the northeast and northern Atlantic. Convergence aloft at the upper levels of the atmosphere creates strong high pressure at the surface. And when you have strong high pressure sitting over the St. Lawrence River Valley and over parts of New England, that means very cold air is able to lock in along the coast. And it produces an effect called cold air damming, where cold air is dammed up against the Appalachian Mountains and the Atlantic Ocean. Now, when you have this type of setup, it produces several scenarios. One, it does not allow this primary low pressure system to move any further north than basically Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. As a result, the low pressure system must move east since it can't move north. Therefore, an area of low pressure redevelops off the New Jersey coast. I have been warning about this scenario for several days, even though some were suggesting this low pressure could actually reach Buffalo, but that's against every physical law possible. Law of conservation of mass, there has to be high pressure over the St. Lawrence River Valley for this setup. So the question is, what type of impacts will this create? Well, this type of low pressure system, when it's really strong over the Ohio Valley, strongly negates the potential for heavy snowfall for the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. However, it does produce a significant ice threat for the region, especially because cold air is trapped at the surface while the mid-levels warm up. So let's take a look at the latest forecast I have for this storm. Now this storm's going to come into two parts. The first part's going to be late tonight, about 11 p.m. over eastern Pennsylvania, on through tomorrow afternoon, ending around 4 or 5 p.m., with generally snow from most locations mixing with sleet and freezing rain as we move towards the late morning and early afternoon hours along the coast. Now, along the southeast coast of New Jersey, specifically south of Toms River, New Jersey, and Fork River, the precipitation will quickly change over to rain. And this is a good news because they clearly do not need ice or snow in those locations. However, that heavy rain, which will be expected throughout the rest of the storm, will create some flash flooding problems. So use some caution when driving over locations like Cape May, Wildwood, Atlantic City. Even though it will be rain, you're also having a melting snowpack, which will create some major ponding on the roadways and some localized flash flooding. Unfortunately, the rest of the region will not be as lucky. Cold air is going to remain in place over many locations throughout the northern Mid-Atlantic. Now, along the New Jersey coast, basically from southeast Monmouth County down through Ocean County and back towards the Philadelphia metropolitan area, and also southeastern Long Island, the snow will quickly change over to sleet and freezing rain. Up to 2 inches of snow is expected, and then up to 1/10 of an inch of ice, followed by rain by late Wednesday morning. Again, this comes in two parts. The first part, Tuesday tonight into Tuesday afternoon. Then we get a break Tuesday afternoon through early Wednesday, and then we continue again on Wednesday morning into about the mid-afternoon hours on Wednesday afternoon. Now, further north and west, and this includes much of the coastal locations of Connecticut, much of Long Island, the New York City metropolitan area, back through central New Jersey and the northwest suburbs of Philadelphia, looking for 3 to 6 inches of snow. Mostly that's going to fall late tonight on through tomorrow morning, followed by a quarter to a half inch of ice. That is a significant impact for these locations. Now, the good news is that in urban locations where you have some steam vents and the roadways are going to be a little bit warmer, you're going to have a potential to have just plain rainfall in some isolated locations. But temperatures for much of the storm will stay below freezing. And we're not just talking about 32, we're talking about the mid to upper 20s for a majority of the storm. So while there will be some patchy areas where the normal urban locations, stay a little bit warmer because of more traffic and some steam vents from subways and whatnot, most locations are going to be very icy, and you need to just be careful with this storm. The precipitation is not likely to change over to rain in these locations until late Wednesday morning or early afternoon. And many of these locations may not even see that, depending on how much snow falls on Tuesday morning. The more snow that falls, the stronger the cold air damming will be. Over the northwestern territories of northwestern New Jersey, much of interior eastern Pennsylvania, and the southern portions of interior Connecticut, this is going to be a major ice storm. I'm looking for 4 to 8 inches of snow, followed by sleet and freezing rain, basically from Tuesday afternoon all the way through Wednesday. Of course, there will be that break on late Tuesday night until early Wednesday morning, but ice accumulations can easily exceed a half an inch in these locations. Use extreme caution and get prepared for a major ice storm. And then locations further north over northern Connecticut, the central Hudson Valley, and extreme northeastern Pennsylvania, those locations will remain mostly snow. Right now I'm looking at 6 to 12 inches, locally higher amounts and heavier banding. I could seriously see some locations pushing 2 feet in some localized intense banding of snow, especially around Poughkeepsie and Hartford. Not like they need more snow anyway. But this storm clearly looks like a major snowstorm for those locations. So again, to paraphrase, heavy snow and a major snow event for the far northern forecast areas. For the rest of the region, look for a major ice storm here, and even a tenth of an inch of ice is going to create some significant problems with travel, so use caution here. And then for southeastern New Jersey, you missed most of the frozen precipitation, but the heavy rain will cause some flash flooding problems, so use some caution. This storm is a major storm and needs to be taken seriously. Do not travel in this storm tomorrow evening through Wednesday, as this is when I expect the worst of the ice conditions, because it's not only going to be the fact that precipitation is going to be falling, but after it falls, it will refreeze and you have black ice all over the place. So use some caution, stay indoors, and try to prepare for this storm today rather than trying to get out tomorrow morning to get your supplies. I'll be covering this storm live throughout the event starting early tomorrow morning and on through Wednesday. So stay with NYNJPA Weather for the latest updates on this major winter storm. I'm meteorologist Stephen DiMartino. Stay safe out there.